Hello and welcome to my first Insight Timer Live. I am so happy to be here with you, and I hope that you will let me know in the chat where you are tuning in from and how the weather is. Not outside you, but how's the weather inside you? In our society, we go, "Oh, hi, how are you?" And it's typical, "Oh, I'm fine, thanks." Even when we're not. So, one of the things I most love about this Insight Timer community is it is a place for us to come and be real and get support and be supportive of each other. So, thank you, Megan. Thank you very much for congratulating me. I appreciate it. And Suzanne, Sumastar, the weather inside you is calm. I love that. Priyanka's got some storminess going on. We will get you. Oh, Priyanka's on her first teacher journey too. So awesome. So I love this. Storm yesterday, calm today. So I'm glad that some of you are feeling calm already. The reason I chose today, or actually I wasn't chosen today, I was guided to do the live today, is because we are under a new moon. And new moons are great for new beginnings, great for manifesting. And this new moon, this Leo new moon that we came into this morning, is a time to encourage playfulness. And I love playfulness. I've had many people say, "Wow, you're so playful about your work," because work, it sounds heavy and like something that's got to be hard. And no, no, no. I really don't believe that healing has to take a long time or that it has to be hard work. So let's play together. And also, this Leo new moon lightens the heaviness in our heads. And I don't know about you, I've really been getting the message a lot, so much lately, that I need to drop out of my head and into my heart. So, so glad that you are tuning in. We are going to manifest a calm week ahead. Oh, Melanie, so wonderful to see you. Oh, and Violet, hello, hello. Sharon, oh, tuning in from Israel. A bit rainy. Is that what's going on inside, Sharon, or what's going on outside? Because the weather, we don't have any control over it, but we do have control over our own. Ah, Sharon, great. I want to check in with you, have you check in with us at the end of this. We're just going to keep it to about 30 minutes because you will learn. I am so wed to simple shifts for lasting change. So, in these short 30 minutes together, I'm going to share 3 simple strategies that if you practice them this week, I promise you, you will have a calmer, less stormy week ahead. Megan, oh, great. I'm so glad that you all are checking in with each other as well. Yes, Melanie, I know you and I are just right down the street, and Violet is up the street from me. So maybe at some point we'll have to manifest an in person Insight Timer teacher thing. All right, so we can practice, this is according to Rick Hansen, we can practice an emotional state until it becomes a neural trait. What the heck does that mean? It's real simple. It's how our brain works, and I'll do a whole nother class on our brain and the neurons and how we get these neural traits. Basically, habits, whether they're what you would call good habits or bad habits, they all form the same way. With practice again and again and again, they get these neural pathways going. And so that becomes our new natural state. And so for the most part, I think that we are in a state of reaction, more so in this time in my life than I've ever noticed before. There's just so much going on in the world, so much stress. And when we react, we keep hitting that fight or flight syndrome. That's our sympathetic nervous system. And so my whole focus is let's practice really simple strategies to be able to activate our parasympathetic nervous system, which is our rest and digest nervous system, which is almost like wrapping ourselves in a cozy down blanket. And doesn't that sound really calming and comforting? So I want to just dive right in and get you to think about something that's happened recently, in the past day or couple of days, that got you triggered, whether it's anger, frustration, stress, anxiety, whatever it is. We all have those situations that come up. And I want you to stop and just get in touch with that and give it a rating in your head, 1 to 10. 1 is, I'm really chill about it. 10 is, I'm through the roof about it. How you feel now, not when it happened a day, a week ago, or whatever, but as you're feeling it now. And just tuck that in the back of your head, and we're going to start that to breathe together for 90 seconds. So find your breath and simply breathe. Whatever that breath practice is for you, whether you're simply noticing your breath, or for me, when my mind is extra agitated or extra anxious, it gets very chatty. So I love doing mantras. I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. For me lately, it's I breathe in to receive, I breathe out and release. Whatever works for you and your breath practice, just focus on that now. Just as your mind wanders, keep coming back to your breath. I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. Notice I'm not saying, breathe with me and whatever. It's whatever works best for you. Find your breath and simply breathe. And we've got about 30 more seconds. Find your breath. That's right. And already notice, you can start feeling that downshifting. And we're just about done. And there we are, 90 seconds. And now take a moment and revisit that situation you were thinking about just a few moments ago and give it a number now. And notice how it dropped down. And if you would, put in the chat, you went from this number to this number, because I can almost guarantee that it at least came down a little bit, if not disappeared completely. And as you're putting that in the chat, let me explain why 90 seconds. It is absolutely phenomenal. It's called the 90-second rule. And this comes from Jill Bolte Taylor, who is a Harvard-trained neuroscientist. So she studies other people's brains for a living. And she experienced a stroke. So here she is experiencing a stroke, and yet also taking the perspective of being a neuroscientist studying this brain experiencing a stroke. And you can learn more about her. She had a TED Talk and I think a book called My Stroke of Insight. And the biggest takeaway was she discovered in that experience of having a stroke and witnessing herself having a stroke, she learned that the chemical lifespan of an emotion is only 90 seconds. Wait, what? How is that possible? How is it I can be so angry about something that my husband did last week or whatever when the emotion only lasts 90 seconds? Wow. When you think about that and put that in practice, that, okay, after 90 seconds, that chemical component is gone and I can choose calm instead. It is a very simple strategy. And I am the queen of simple strategies. I have so many that I will continue to share. Again, I'm just going to share 3 with you today because I don't want to fire hose you. Suma Star, 90 seconds. It is Jill Bolte Taylor. And the name of, I know it's her TED Talk, is My Stroke of Insight. And I think that was the first TED Talk to go viral. So you want to check that out. And Suma Star, I see that you were at a 6 from, was that 6 to start or 6 down from something? I'm really curious to see if you would put in the chat, you went from what number to what number? Because it's really important when we can go, oh, yeah, I noticed that. Great. My Stroke of Insight, like insight Timer. We're all about looking for insight, right? Suma Star went from a 6 to a 4. So fabulous. You dropped it by 1/3 in 90 seconds. So that is one strategy for you to play with in this coming week. What happens is something happens, they're too big, right? We want to start with any changes we want to start with. We want to start small because simple shifts are what creates lasting change. And also, we're trying to do New Year's resolutions with willpower. Willpower doesn't work. Willpower is in the conscious mind, and the conscious mind is about 5%. 95%, the majority of our brain, the majority of our mind is our subconscious mind. And that's where our power is. That's where I love to play. So let's not rely on willpower this coming week for you to remember to practice these. Buddy up with someone, whether it's someone here on Insight Timer with you now, or you get a friend or a loved one and say, hey, I'm going to practice these. Let's do some accountability, because there's a study that showed that, we don't need studies to find out that 93% of people blow their New Year's resolutions by the third week in January. I used to run advertisements the third week of January saying, have you already broken your New Year's resolution again? Right? Because it's so common. But there is a study that showed about accountability. Just telling someone you're going to do something ups your chances of success by 65%. Okay, that's pretty awesome. It gets so much better, and this is why I'm really encouraging you to get an accountability buddy, is because when you make an appointment with your accountability buddy, and I would recommend every day, do a once-a-day check-in. Hey, how you doing? You remembering to use these tools? When you do that, it ups your chances of success to 95%. To me, that's mind-blowing, right? That 95%. Okay, Priyanka is in London for time zones. Yeah, T-Lady Nat, wow is right. 95% chance when we have an accountability buddy. And it's so funny because with my clients, I will offer them, okay, well, let's do some accountability. I don't tell you what to do. It's an offer. And most times people will not take me up on it. And I really do mean when I offer to my clients, text me every day, I do mean it. So make sure that you buddy up with someone, whether it's somebody here in the class or someone that out off the platform, and just say, hey, I want to make sure I do this. They would benefit as well. But if you just make sure that you have that accountability, 95% chance that you will manifest a calmer week ahead. Doesn't that sound good? That's what it's all about. Okay, one more. And when I say this, I really want you to do me a favor and come with this to a beginner's mind, right? Because we're all here on Insight Timer, and so we've heard about this practice. Oh, fantastic, Violet. There you go. You text Melanie every day. So there's your accountability. And Priyanka is like, oh, great. I love seeing that you're buddying up in the chat. That's awesome. So the beginner's mind, right? I've been studying all of this for like 30 years. And I would come to a point where, oh, I already know that. And that was ego. Like, that was totally ego. And it was such a disservice to me because then I wasn't able to take in something new. And so even if you've heard someone share about this, what I'm about to share, please don't just go on that autopilot of, oh, I already know this, because it will do you a disservice. And I don't want you to do that. And so what I want to share with you is gratitude. And I know we've all heard about gratitude. I'm going to bring a different flavor to it because it's not about, everybody says the same thing about gratitude. You can have 10 teachers on Insight Timer talking about gratitude, and you're going to hear 10 different things. And maybe Just one of those is what resonates with you. And so this might resonate with you and it might not, but come to it with a beginner's mind. Like you don't know anything about this thing called gratitude, right? So The Secret. Oh, I was not a fan of The Secret movie because it made it seem like you just, close your eyes, dream the Maserati, and there it is. It appears in the driveway, and it doesn't work that way. Gratitude is not beneficial when we just think about it. When we just think about gratitude, okay, well, that's nice, but it doesn't change our neurochemistry. Right? So I'm going to share with you how it changes our neurochemistry. And I have a feeling that you're going to want to be like, oh, definitely I want to buddy up on gratitude, because Sean Acor, guy has the coolest job title of anybody I've ever heard. He is a happiness researcher. For real, he gets paid to research happiness. And he found that when we feel gratitude, not when we think of it, but when we, again, drop from the head into the heart and we feel gratitude, like I'm feeling gratitude for each and every one of you here right now. When we feel gratitude, we automatically drop our cortisol levels, which is our stress hormones, by 23%. That's mind-blowing to me, right? Just simply coming to that place of feeling gratitude can drop my stress hormones. Sign me up. And you will, as we spend time together, you'll find, yes, I talk so much about gratitude because it really does change your life. So that's really great. But it gets even better because we drop our cortisol, our stress hormones, and then when we go to that feeling place and really feel gratitude, and I want you to think right now about, yeah, you're already thinking about gratitude, right? When you go to that feeling place, now it's getting your body to produce oxytocin, to produce dopamine and serotonin, which are the happy hormones in many synthetic options that are out there. So we can play with our neurochemistry simply by coming to gratitude. And I know you've all heard about writing gratitude journal, writing lists at night, in the morning, and I do them. And yet I want to share a different one with you now. So again, I'd like you to think something different than what you thought about before, where before I was asking you to think about a specific situation or event. Think about another one, not necessarily that same one, but think about something else. Because I'm sure we all have them, right? Something, it doesn't have to be the big one, but just something that annoyed you, frustrated you, got you angry. Think about it. And now think about, what's everything I'm not noticing that's not that? Wait, what? I'll repeat it. What's everything I'm not noticing about that? What's everything I'm not noticing about that that's not that? Okay, so first of all, that is a total pattern interrupt. Your brain doesn't know what to do. It's like, wait, what? What's everything about that I'm not noticing that's not that? What? All right, so first of all, we've now got your brain like stopping, saying, wait, what? And thinking about the thing that we don't want to be thinking about. But also, when you think about it, there are over 8 billion people on this planet. How many things are happening in this moment that's not that? Right? So when you start looking for what's everything I'm not noticing that's not that, well, then you can start looking for gratitude. So when I was talking to my husband about this class today, and of course I was going to use him as an example, and like, okay, I can be pissed off at my husband, and no. All right, what's everything I'm not noticing that's not that? And for him specifically, I can be like, okay, I can notice, I can remember the fact that he brings me coffee in the morning to wake me up. Mwah! What a sweetheart. I can notice that I've got a fan It's hot here. I live in Connecticut and it's hot. I don't have air conditioning in this room, but I have a little fan. And so I can notice that. So, what's everything I'm not noticing that's not that? So, Sharon, was that, did I give you the right example with, yeah, notice what you're grateful for in the moment. That is definitely what you can do, but also sometimes it's just noticing. Okay, great. Thank you, Sharon. So, Suma Star, it could be gratitude, but also sometimes we're just really, and it's not the easiest thing to jump straight to gratitude. So, it could, I'm very kinesthetic. I love the feel of it, but also we can just do prayer hands as long as we're crossing the midline. And for those of you who have young kids, you can teach them these techniques as well. I would ask you though to wait. Like they say on the airplanes, if the oxygen masks come down, place one on yourself first and then help others. So you want to, if you're a parent and you want to share these with your kids, get them into your own repertoire first, then teach your kids. All right, so we have the 90-second rule, crossing the midline, and gratitude. Gratitude in so many ways. And the bonus, it wasn't really a technique, but definitely the thing about accountability. Remember, if you tell someone you're going to do this every day, several times a day, you have a 65% chance that you're actually going to do it, and then you're going to feel calmer. If you buddy up with somebody, and it looks like in the chat, many of you are, which is music to my ears, if you do the accountability part, by the end of this week, so 1 week from now, you will feel calmer. Like you will have to, because you are taking care of yourself, your self care. Thank you so much for all the hearts. Thank you for joining me for my very first Insight Timer Live. I would love to hear your thoughts. If you want to, I would really appreciate a follow here on Insight Timer, as I'll be scheduling more of these lives. I want to find out, what is it you would like me to be focusing on? I have probably 100 different techniques I can share with you on how to calm stress and anxiety, because one size doesn't fit all. So some of what I shared with you maybe was like, oh, that's really great. And some of it may have been like, not my thing. That's okay. I want to share all these different ways for you to find your calm. And so let's get in touch. You can get in touch with me through my profile here on Insight Timer. Thank you, Con. I appreciate that. And Lori, oh, thank you so much. Yes, Susanna Starr, it was my first live. But let you in on a little secret. Not my first rodeo, not my first broadcast. My first career, I was celebrity radio DJ Stevie Knox on the radio in Miami many, many years ago. So in a way, this is like coming home, right? So because I'm talking, I'm in a room all by myself talking, and I can't see you, but back then, I didn't have the opportunity to have chats, so this is really nice. Again, thank you when it's not so humid. Yes, we will meet Violet and Melanie. I'll really look forward to that. Thank you so much. Wishing you a beautiful evening and a very nice, calm week ahead. Much love.